Hey, 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 hey. What's up? Hope you guys are doing all right tonight. And it's kind of late for me, so you probably won't see this till the morning, but it's all good. Anyway, I hope this message finds you in good health, good spirits, and a willingness to get rid of the bullshit, man. Nah, for real. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. Mom and Dad been giving me some downloads, and here's one of them. It's about where we're headed, the future, and all that good stuff. Where are we headed, might you ask? Hmm, a good question. I don't have all the answers to, because there's a lot of answers to that. There's a lot of different ways I can answer that question. But here's the answer I'm going to give you. So obviously we all feel the shifts and whatnot, and the energy in the air is definitely changing, and it's becoming something that we've never seen before. Now, this has been referred to as New Earth. Um, Whatever. I kind of had an idea of calling it New Kemet. Don't just don't just don't. It's just a thought. I don't even know why I said it out loud. You made me say it. Oh, they like it. It'd be all right. Ain't nobody. That's actually kind of cool. New Kemet. Yeah. Thanks, Dad. Anyway, he's been on my nerves. He's been on my nerves all day, trying to get me to just. And anybody that knows what ascension symptoms are like, face is on fire. Feels like my muscles are, because the solar flares out in the atmosphere apparently affect our bodies in a lot of different ways that let's the word up, just beginning to understand. Anyway, if you know what ascension symptoms are, excuse me, I'm kind of tongue tied. Now, if you know anything about ascension symptoms, you know what I'm talking about. It's where different frequencies and shit is changing, and it affects your body. Sometimes it causes pain, sometimes it does other things too. But it'll make you sleep a lot. If you there's just but anything, these are the signs of what is happening right now, the beginnings of what is unfolding. And it's a beautiful fucking thing, even though my face hurts right now and it's kind of hard to talk. It if when you grow up in a household where everybody says Jesus is coming, and then they tell you what's going to happen when Jesus is coming, or when the Great Awakening, or whatever you're reading, whatever you subscribe to, whenever that time comes, when the big shift happens and everything changes, and we go into a completely new spiritual domain, basically. Um, and, you start to see some of the signs as you think you might see. I remember being a teenager, and I'm like, uh, there's some weird shit going on. But for when you hear it as a little kid, and you have such a confined concept of time, and you think everything's supposed to happen, like, oh, they said Jesus is coming, this and that. Well, then you look on the news, and there's an Iran Contra scandal, and people are doing this and that and the third, and you're like, well, is now when is now when Jesus is coming back? No, no, not it's not now. But everything that they were talking about is happening right now. But he's not coming. Why is he waiting? And most adults don't want to hear that from a 9-year-old. So it gets diminished, it gets dismissed in a lot of ways, and then it gets shamed out of existence. So fast forward a decade and a half or so, you're newly married. Um, things are looking up, and you start exploring deeper into your spirituality. Well, then you start realizing, like, oh, that's what they mean. Sometimes it's delayed because we're given a chance to fix it. Can't just come in like, oh, no, no, wait. You can't cut us off before we figure out what our power is. And I learned that a long time ago. So it's not something that is just kind of, oh, well, this big shift is. I've been feeling, well, I don't want to say feeling. I've had my own theories about this for probably 15, 20 years. So, like actually before I got married. But yeah, no, like, and then you start figuring out what your own concept of a new earth looks like. What does that look like? Like, what does it look like spiritually? What does it feel like emotionally? What is it? What do you hear mentally? What do you manifest physically? Because you got to take all that into consideration, because like there's some really big, we're in the beginnings of some really big shit that nobody living or dead has ever been through. Does that make sense to you? Nobody living or dead has ever been through. And I might be exaggerating a nanometer. I'll give you that. But oh, my face is, oh, whew. Everybody pray for my face. Pray for my face, y'all. That feels good now. I think sometimes that's the key. Another thing, that's part of the understanding process. When I let it out, the pain goes away. It's like you're releasing that energy that you're holding in. In this is like, I know everybody says it, and y'all motherfuckers might not believe this shit, but these fucking solar flares are literally messages from our ancestors, from source, from spirit. Now they're gonna think I'm crazy. So, and I'm looking up at you right now while I'm talking to them. So now they're definitely gonna think if they don't already, they probably will. That's okay. That's why I'm here. I'm good. I'm good with that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can sit here and tell you that dad says make you believe me, but um I think if you don't already believe, you're not going to believe me. Like, it's not. Hold on. All right. Okay. Let me back up. Let me back up a step. Give you guys a little bit of perspective here. Like, it's not about the money that you got. Money might disappear, just as far as it's going to go away. And with the current financial atmosphere, on a global scale, I would say that there's going it's going to be a lot of instability probably the next 10 to 20 years. So, I mean, do what you got to do, but just understand that it's not going to be that fucking easy. It ain't going to be that easy. So, you know, that's one thing. Like back in the day, they had a bartering system, you know. Hey, I'll trade you you know, 2 jugs of goat milk for a chicken. Well, hey, oh, you're smart. Oh, well, hey, why don't you if you would, we why don't we, could we possibly get a few of our kids together so you could teach them, and we would give you, we'll build a house for you, so you'll have somewhere to stay. I see. Well, hey man, look, hey, if I'm trying to get my garage fixed. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you hey, if you could do that, I heard you was having some trouble with your car. Well, I mean, I'll help you out with it. That's the type of shit we need to be on. That's the type of time we need to be on, y'all. Saying like it's that serious. And yeah, I'd be on that. Oh yeah, find your blessings in the morning. And I know some of y'all might just be like, oh, this kind of nice guy. Yeah. Nah, I'm a Leo. Leo sun, Sag moon, Pisces rising. And my Chiron's acting pretty heavy right now, so you gonna get this work. But no, so like it's anybody that thrives on the negative forces and tips the scales in that favor, and is the extremists are gonna go. If you're just a super love and light, happy go lucky, kumbaya, fucking Barney the Bear type motherfucker, that look, you might get pushed off to the side too, because this is about people who have integrated. This is about people who are pulling from both sides and bringing that shit together. You know, I mean, if we're going to get deep down into it, Jesus was the type of dude that was definitely in his bag with his masculine and his feminine energy. And that's the problem with a lot of people nowadays. We're not integrated into our masculine and our feminine energies. The women are heavy on the masculine and the men are heavy on the feminine. Y'all some girly ass dudes and y'all some manly ass women. Let's talk about it. Like for real, for real. If this is what's going to happen, this is what we need to do. We want, you want peace, you want harmony, you want emotional stability, you want to be prosperous, you want abundance, you want to live like a rich man and feel like the Pope. That's what the fuck you got to do. You got to bash that shit together. You got to integrate. But it's not an easy process. Like I said, just think about the financial climate itself. Now, and I'm throwing it out there as a rough estimate. I'm saying 10 to 20 years. It could be 5 years. We could figure out a way and just get shit popping. That's fine. I'm down with that. But when it comes down to it, this could be a slow and tedious process, and we have to be patient, perseverant, and persistent. That's the PPP we should have been worried about. Fucking COVID bullshit. Anyway, that's beside the point. I know y'all, a lot of y'all motherfuckers made some money. I know some people that made some money off of it. Hey, do what you got to do, pimp. Don't let the system pimp you. Pimp the system first. See, that's how we got to break out of the matrix. We got to figure out ways to pimp the system before the system pimps us. And a lot of that comes with being in tune with your star player. Like I keep coming back to that. Being in tune with your star player. That's what we need to do. And how do we do that, Shifu? How do we do that? You gotta let go of the bullshit. Like what did I start it off with? What did I start it off with? Like, if you know anything about evolution, if you know anything about Darwin, the way he pulled it out and he laid out the plan, of course, there's some flaws in it and there's some holes in his theories, but the basic infrastructure of what he was trying to accomplish still kind of makes a lot of sense and is applicable definitely in this situation. So you got, you know, a species of animal, human. Yes, we are animals. I'm not even going. Anyway, you we're moving towards a certain direction, and we're at a point of divergence. We are definitely at a point of divergence. The it is what it is. You can see things changing. You can see there is a specific group of people that is evolving. We're still trying to figure out the the infrastructure of the evolution. What are we? How are we doing this? What are we doing? What does it mean? What's the purpose? Like, there's so many W's, all the W's, all of them, and how. And a lot of it comes down to, once you get in tune with your star player, you understand the game. Like, this is, yeah, when I say game, you already know what I'm saying. But like, the game is eliminate the darkness in some ways. Integrate the darkness. That's what I mean. I apologize. Not eliminate, integrate the darkness. Everybody wants to be, and if you're on the dark end, if you a Sith, slide a little bit toward the middle. Get some Yoda shit in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. That's what I. Damn it, 15 minutes already. All right, but anyway, 14:51 on the timer. If you're into numerology, I don't know what that means, but I'll look it up. Why not? If you're here long enough, if you're here that long enough, you might as well get some. Oh shit, I forgot what I was. Anyway, I guess I can't do it. I forgot what the count was, but that's like another thing. I'm just starting to understand what it means too, and a lot of us thought that 2026 was going to be, oh, it's going to be our. Well, you know what? It is going to be our year. The first half was a little shaky for me. Not going to lie. The first half was definitely a little shaky. And what I realized is I'm an unk. I'm an unk. I'm 48 years old. I'm on old nigga status now. Um, but the bottom line, like, really, it comes down to, you. Like I said in the post earlier, I'm done picking sides. And when you come to that point of divergence, and you got, okay, well, you got some people that are pulling this way, you got some people that are pulling this way. Where are they going to go? Where are you going to go? Where do you fit in? Are you with the spiritual crowd where you're trying to integrate the dark and the light, and you actually want to bring about peaceful coexistence to everything in the universe? Well, at least we'll go globally. We'll go on this planet. And as far as that goes, nurturing nature, nurturing each other, nurturing our environment, the sky, the land, the sea, everything. Now, a lot of people out there would go, well, that doesn't fit my financial portfolio very well. It's not supposed to. It's not supposed to fit your financial portfolio. It's supposed to benefit the ecosystem at large. And if you're not willing to do that, then you gotta go. Period. You gotta go. And you'll be on the side of Darwin that we talk about in the books, instead of being on the side of Darwin that writes the books. Now, I'm gonna throw something out here that's kind of random. People in Europe are dying like fucking crazy. Apparently, I read an article. It's like, it's kind of interesting. Then I saw something else on a news channel. I thought, okay, there's my confirmation. I know, do more research, but here's the thing. I'm just putting it out here as a way for you to grasp the concept a little more firmly. Now, saying according to the heat of the sun and the fact that they don't have air conditioning in a lot of these European countries, there are companies too, it doesn't matter. But in a lot of the areas, I'm assuming more metropolitan areas, cities and stuff like that. A few of the people they were interviewing looked like they were in bigger cities. So, and thought about that for a second. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute. These motherfuckers ain't got no AC. But then again, they're the ones who started the bubonic plague and the black plague and all that shit because they didn't have proper sewage and irrigation. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. That makes total sense. That's part of the evolution. Basic human needs. There are people in this world who do not care about basic human needs. Oh, it's hot out. And a lot of those motherfuckers in them countries came from caves. You know, it's definitely a it's been an eye-opening experience to say the least. 2026 has definitely been an eye-opening experience. And not that I didn't know a lot of the things that I know or knew. No. Not that I didn't know them before. I think the exaggerated nature of the way things are unfolding has given a lot of people um a deeper insight just by contrast of, I'll say, either what we expected or what we had already been through. Now, for me, it was like I'm like, you know what? I'm a little bit I'm a little unique. Like I said, there are some people who have insight to things that other people don't. There are people have insight to things that I don't have the insight to, and I guess just on being able to sense things on an energetic level, I kind of knew it was going to go haywire once Trump got elected. And eh, I mean, a lot of people knew, we all kind of had an idea, but we didn't think it was going to be like this. I mean, when you got his homeboys running off like, I didn't know it was going to be, look, I didn't. Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, all of the Manosphere dudes, all them cats, a lot of them guys are backing off of Trump real hard. And it's because they don't want to be on the side of history that's being written about. Well, not and I will say that they probably just realized like, damn, this motherfucker's really clowning. He's really on some bullshit. And a lot of people didn't think he was going to take it this far. But the divergence itself is where we need to sit and think like, what the fuck is going on? You know? We literally have to do this one person at a time. You. Don't worry about nobody else. And I mean that respectfully. I mean that in the sense of mind your fucking business. If you took half the time worrying about yourself and hell, okay, let's just say it like this. You're on social media for 4 hours a day. Most of you are probably on there for more. But anyway, take an hour of that and go fucking meditate. Do you know how much an hour of meditation would um complement the greater consciousness, raising our frequency? 1 hour. And you ain't even got to do it all at once. Do it 15 minutes 4 times a day. No. Are you serious? Shifu, that's what the Muslims be doing. That's what a lot of people do. That's exactly why. I do it all the time. I do it every day. I do my morning grounding session. Then most of the time I'll get out my phone and I'll say something, whatever. And usually immediately after that I meditate. 10, 15 minutes, whatever. I literally do that throughout the day. It it just it just works. It fucking works. A Muslim might call it prayer, you know. Jews might call it something else. Catholics might. I don't know what y'all be calling it. When you meditate, you pray. I mean, people they call it prayer. There's all kinds of different terms for it, but it is reaching out to mom and dad and saying, "Hey, can you help me calm down?" That's it. That is literally it. Tell them what's on your mind. That will ease your mind. Talking about it. Just put it out like, hey, look. People do it all the time. Dear God, I'm having a rough day. Please, can you hear me? Do you have a minute? Can I listen to you? Can you listen to me? Like this, you know what I'm saying? Like for real, this is what it's all about. And this is what New Earth is all about. It's all about reconnecting ourselves to mom and dad. It's all about getting that back in here. And no matter what ideology you follow, there is a person inside of that ideology who is trying to guide you that way. Whether it's Jesus, whether it's the disciples, whether it's the Pope in his own way, half the gods of ancient Egypt. They're all trying to lead you back to energy, source energy. That's what it is. You know, like and it's my job to be the alarm clock. Wake up. Come on. We got work to do, y'all. Mom and dad's tired of waiting around for us to get our thumbs out of our butts and actually act like the adults that we're supposed to be. And that's a funny thing about this. We gonna keep coming back to this if you don't get it right. Like that is hell. You understand that, right? That's hell. And you wonder why they say hell on earth. If you believe in reincarnation and if you understand anything about integrating back into source, here's the thing. And I'm about to dive in for a minute. So anyway, there are these things called the archons, and they rule the nine planes of existence. Actually, no, I'm sorry, seven planes of existence. The upper nine are divine realms that the archons can't touch. Now, when you die on this plane, you have to travel through those archons in order to achieve divinity and return to source. Otherwise, you get reincarnated. So if you go back and you want to rewind and go into some Hindu scripts and whatnot, fact check me. But anyway, that's beside the point. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I apologize for that. That was a little rude. But see, I know some of y'all going to jump on here and say, man, you don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. That's beside the point. I wouldn't be telling, if you already know me, I wouldn't be saying it unless I was confident. But anyway, that's beside the point. Everything is trying to lead you back to source divinity. The energy that we all came from, the spark that we have inside of us. So, when you start talking and you hear things and it's listening and it's talking back. And then you start hearing what seems like it might be other people. Like, well, hold on, wait a minute. I thought there was just one. See, that's the thing. In the new earth, it ain't about just you. Once you integrate and you connect to that greater consciousness, you can talk to everybody. Now imagine telepathy on a global scale with your ancestors added. You could be in the middle of an energetic Zoom call with motherfuckers from all across the world and different dimensions. That a little too deep. Did I? Well, I don't already. If you like, I'm gonna keep saying, hey, you watching this long, you done already seen it. You done already heard it. Can't unhear it. It is what it is. If you don't believe me, look it up. But the thing is, you know, I've been talking about purpose. We all have a purpose. And think about this. Why would I as an energy, as an energy, why would I want to come down here right now? Why was I born at the exact time I was born? Why were you born at the exact day and time you were born? And we're born and we're growing up and we're at our various stages of life and our various ages, but we're all living through this moment right now. We're all living through this moment right now. Do you know how, out of all of the billions and billions of people that have lived and died on this planet, from Adam and Eve to now, think about that. Hundreds of billions of people. I don't know the exact. I think it might be. It's over 100 billion, but not close to two. It's like low, 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 low. But anyway, all of those people weren't born when you were born, and we're getting to witness the greatest history that we can imagine that will ever be written. One of the greatest things we could ever imagine will be written, is being written right now. And we're going to find journals 100 years from now. People are going to find journals 100 years from now. They're going to find this video and go, what are they so worried about? We're fine now. Or some of the things that we learn will be building blocks for them at some point. Like the it's time to change the mentality, folks. It's time to change the mentality. We got to look at it from a completely different perspective across the board. Every single person on this planet. And if you're in the midst of changing your mindset and you're in the midst of integrating already, hats off to you. I appreciate you for that. Mad love and respect, because it is a hell of a fucking journey. You're going to get your ass kicked. Everything but physically. And quite possibly physically, depending on how you react. But it is a very, 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 very necessary blessing and lesson. It teaches it. It's a very humbling experience. I can talk my shit all day and get on here and do what I do, but at the end of the day, I have been humbled on umpteen occasions in the last 2.5 years since I started this journey. I have been punched in the fucking balls. Then I was given a bag of ice. You know, that's one thing you will learn when you ask for certain things. You know, the universe is going to be, all right, you know, well, I want this and I want that and I want this. I want to be, you know, I want a job that's worth my time. Or I want a job that let's leave it at that. I want a job that's worth my time. The universe will give you a job that's worth your time, but it will make you question your own value. Yeah, like that type shit. So even though, like I said, I can sit here and say, "Good morning, it's a new world, the new earth." Yeah, comes with crystals and bracelets. But in all seriousness, though, I can't be serious. In all seriousness, I can't be serious because it's such you can't be serious because you can't take the joy out of this. You're not going to take the joy out of this. And this is what people are talking about all the fucking time. How do y'all find the joy in everything? When you're going to be able to eradicate certain things in a generation, and it's like somebody was talking about, I'm gonna try to get this right, and I don't remember who it was, but they said they made the quote or the comment that back in the days of slavery, a lot of those slaves and a lot of the black people were doing everything they can to make sure that their great grandchildren had something, knowing that they would never see it happen. I think I nailed that. That's almost literally word for word. So think about this, and think about that. Do you know how much you have to humble yourself to put in work that you're never going to see the benefits from? Putting in 40 hours a week and never get a paycheck. But all they do is bank that money, and they're going to give the money to your descendants in 100 years. Would you take that job? Hold on. I ain't gonna lie. I'm thinking about that shit. Would I be able to sacrifice that? And I honestly, part of me wants to say hell yeah, but like, what? How am I going? What am I going? And see, that's the thing. You got to have faith. I can't answer that question right now because with the way that things are going right now in this world, I don't have enough faith that I would survive. If I had time to think about some ways I could survive, I might have that. But oh shit, my battery's going dead. Y'all didn't let me run my fucking mouth 38 minutes. Wow. Y'all really are desperate. Y'all are really desperate for attention. Well, so am I, of course. That's why I keep running my mouth. Y'all probably didn't turned it off like 20 minutes ago, and there's like 8 people are actually going to hear this part. Now, if you hear this part, I would literally want you to comment, I heard that, nigga. I heard that. Comment, I heard that if you got this far in the video. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here because I think I've said too much. Haven't said enough. If you know, you know. Anyway, it's your boy Shifu. I'll holler at you when I see you. Talk to you soon. Turn the fuck off.